Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader. And before we get started, we'll need to go through our obligatory risk disclosure here. So we'll do just that. So again, guys, just remind everyone that the content that's being distributed uh, by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice. An offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading contains a substantial amount of risk and is not for every investor. Investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, guys. So now that I've gotten through the risk disclosure here, guys, we're going to go ahead and turn our attention to the financial portal here and see what they have in store for us today. News portal, I should say. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do just that. All right, so we're at the news. All right. So actually, relatively light in news today. We do have a couple of members speaking. Fed member Logan, Fed member Goolsbee, speaking at what's that? 10:30 and what's that? 3:30? Is it? Well, 12:30, 2:30 Eastern time. Okay, so 10:30, 2:30 Eastern time. A couple of Fed members are speaking. But I guess again, the bigger news is coming, right? So we have bigger news coming in tomorrow. We have average earnings, non-farm payroll. We have ISM, PMI coming in tomorrow, and that's pretty much I think let's see, it closes out the week as far as news go. Okay, not exactly sure where we don't have any additional news, but that's kind of what we have in the docket. So yeah, no, actually tomorrow we have this Friday. I've almost forgot that. Yeah, so anyway, we have non-farm payroll, unemployment coming in tomorrow. So relatively light, I would say, in news here today to impact the markets. So that's kind of in some cases welcomed, right? Because that allows us to kind of navigate the markets without fear, okay, of maybe some sort of news event that could potentially impact the markets in ways we don't anticipate. Okay, so let's go ahead now and turn our attention to the portal here. we're gonna well, I'm about to change screens here, Ricky. All right, so let's take a look. Nothing really that you're missing there, and with respect to the news, really no news to report. Okay, hopefully you can see that screen. We'll give it about 10, 15 seconds because I think that's kind of a built-in delay here with respect to the news, with respect to the display of this. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. So let's take a look here at start off with the gold market. All right. So we'll look at the gold market and try to get a sense here of what the market is trying to tell us as far as direction. Okay. Well, again, market continues to show signs of strength. Right, we continue to surpass 3,900, and now we're above it. Right, we have yet another developing bullish candle in the market that honestly does not seem to be wavering on the bullish side all that much. Okay, so we continue to show momentum to the upside on the daily chart. You can see here that we're above the value range. In the let me narrow that down here a little bit. Let me incorporate some of that in the bottom. Okay, so you can see that we are very much in some sort of trend here, right? You can see that we are in some sort of low volume node here. We started to maybe the beginnings of maybe a high volume node here around 3,700, but that was kind of a moment of rest before the market continued to the upside. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart, see what the 4-hour chart has to say. We're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance range here and see what we can what context we can pull off out of the market. Okay, so here we are again. We had a rather strong bearish candle here, but honestly, there was no follow through in that candle. I don't know if that was maybe some profit taking that was taken out of gold, but in any case, we continue to break some structure here to the upside. Right, we broke above 3,900, which was not only a psychological level, but this is the last high. So we broke above that level, and we've come now back inside that level and closed above it a second time. All right, so we have a 4-hour candle that's developing bullish, and the our volume delta bar seems to be very much aligned with the direction at this point. Right, volume delta bars indicating that we have a good amount of buyers in the market, and those buyers, at least right now, outside of the fact that we have a little bit of a wick here, is also equally showing signs of bullish behavior. Okay, probably not to the level of strength that I would expect to see, honestly. Right, so again, we have about 1,500 or more buy orders than sell orders here at the moment, but that hasn't necessarily translated in price just yet. We haven't really gotten above this level here. So that could be an indication that maybe there are still very much maybe some sellers here present up here at 39.17. Okay, let's go ahead and turn our attention to the 30-minute chart now. So we're going to take a look at the 30-minute chart. And good morning, Ricky. Good morning, Aslan. Good morning, Dirk. Good morning, Simon. I think I overlooked to do that. Okay, so we're taking a look here at the 30-minute chart. Again, you can see that we still have our volume delta bars indicating that there is still interest on the upside. We're seeing wicks. Anytime we see kind of wicks here, coming in here is a little bit of cause of concern, right? Because that's indicating that, while we are seeing bullish price action, it is not coming in. It's not coming easy, right? So as we are approaching this 39.20 level, it seems the activity of sellers has also increased. Now we still have price above our 9 EMA, so that's an indication that that we are, the market sentiment is still bullish. But the fact that we're starting to get some wicks, the last couple of 30-minute candles here are of the weak variety here, right? We managed to close one of these candles as bearish, and now we're looking maybe to see maybe the possibility of closing another one bearish. So would not be out of the realm of possibility here, right? If the market were to maybe revisit some of these lows, even though we are in, a rather strong bullish structure here on the higher time frame, we are a bit extended away from VWAP, away from the point of control from this visible range volume profile. So it would not be out of the realm of possibility to revisit some of these levels before we continue potentially our march up to the upside. What I can see is that we're having some trouble getting above 39.20, right? We got to 39.20 and we found some sellers. We've come back close to 39.20, and looks like sellers have again stepped into this market. Okay, let's take, at least on the shorter time frame, let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile and see what fixed. We're just going to do it based on the session here. So I'm going to locate the start of Wednesday here, and we'll drag that across to the close of Wednesday, and you can see that we are technically above value, right? So indicating that there is still a fair amount of interest here to the upside. I'm going to go ahead and extend this volume line here to the right, and I would say that area right there, okay, this 3,900 level should be a supportive area. Not only is this a psychological level, we can see here on the charts, that's also a value area high, which could offer us a location to support a continuation or trades to the upside. Okay, all right. So let's take a look and see what initial balance. Good morning, Eleopatra. All right, that's not easy to pronounce. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Asia. See what Asia was able to do with this market. Well, you can see Asia, tail end of Asia, was able to take take the market higher. Right, we got an extension to the upside, and again, no interest in coming back into that initial balance range, and we rallied all the way up to the 200% extension. It wasn't, an early extension, but later in the Asia session, we did manage to get that. Yeah, monster. Yeah, exactly. Another monster moving kind of passing or combine passing kind of move. All right. Let's take a look here at the London. All right. So we'll take a look at London and see what London was able to do with this. London also quite bullish, right? Also reached the, I don't know, it didn't reach the 200%, but definitely reached the 100% extension. All right. Now the question now becomes: is this just merely a pullback to say the 9 EMA? We've been down this path before. Is this merely a pullback for maybe another move that maybe will take us back to the highs? Okay. Price is still above the 9 EMA. The only thing that's causing me a little concern is the fact that we have some selling wicks above. Okay, we still have some selling wicks here above. All right. So London, Asia, bullish on the market. London also bullish on the market. I would say that another area to potentially focus in on, should we get a little bit of a pullback here, would be the high area, or the initial balance high, again falling at that 3,900 level. Okay, a lot of interest here at 3,900. Both we saw from a structure, as well as what we're witnessing on the visible range volume profile. Okay, visible range volume profile, the initial balance range in the London also giving us 3,900 as a possible area to support a maybe continuation move long. Okay, that would probably bring us back to the VWAP range as well, as I kind of extend this line forward. Again, showing a little bit of weakness at this point in time. So we'll go ahead and move this across over to the current session, day session, and see what kind of initial balance range we're establishing. So right now, so far, relatively normal, maybe a tad smaller than usual initial balance range that's establishing. We're getting a little bit of pressure here on the sell side in this market, but we've been down this path before, right? This could merely be a pullback, maybe prior to another potential leg higher. Okay, so as long as price remains above our 9 EMA, then I would say that we are in some sort of bullish structure. If price begins to maybe pull back here a little bit, we can maybe use VWAP in a similar vein to support us, maybe a location to support an execution to the upside. Really need to see how a market reacted when London acts as continuation. Usually London moves inverse to Asia. Yeah, today we actually have both in unison, both Asia and well, Asia for most of the market was neutral, to be honest. Okay, Asia was for the most part neutral. It wasn't until London opened that we started to pick up some momentum to the upside in London. Okay, most of the time was spent in range. Okay, in Asia. All right, it was only at the tail end of the session that we started to see some momentum to the upside. Okay, so right now I would say that we remain in bullish structure to the upside. I think there's opportunities potentially if we get maybe some sort of indication that price is going to reverse. We get maybe a little bit of a 3-bar reversal pattern anywhere around the 9 EMA or VWAP. That would be ideal. Okay, to offer me an opportunity for an upside move trade. Okay, or bullish trade. Right now we're seeing a little bit of weakness, but again, price has yet to close below the 9 EMA. All right, and that's going to be my litmus test for this market. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. We'll take a look at crude oil. All right. Crude oil, again, continues to show signs of weakness. Here, again, we're making another attempt to get below the 62 level. Did we close below 62? Yes, we did. Okay. So we did close below 62, which is relatively important, right? 62 was that psychological area we kind of bounced off before. Price has managed to close below, okay, below this level at 61.76. And what's currently happening? Well, the same thing that's been happening over the last 4 or 5 days here. We are in some sort of bearish structure in this market. Now, again, I think I've done this estimate already once, but I'll do it again. I'm going to take this last swing here and kind of forecast kind of where I think price could potentially go. All right. If I do this last swing and look at the highs here. All right. So there we are. We're almost at the 61.8% extension of that move. Well, if I take that move and project it 100%, that takes us down to $57. Okay. It takes us down to $57 in the crude oil market. Okay. And which is not out of the realm of possibility. As you can see here, right? We've been down this area before, right? And rallied from it. Okay. So right now, that what's kind of standing in its way? Well, we have the 61 level and then 60. All right. That's kind of standing in its way from that possibility. Okay. But assuming that we can get below 60, all right, then it opens the door for 57, okay, and possibly as low as 55, all right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now on the daily chart. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, looking at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance here for a moment. Okay, market is still not open, and we're going to take a look at the 4-hour and see again, basically what the daily is telling us, but with more bars. Okay. So looking at this again, you can see that we've broken some structure here to the downside here. You can see we've broken some structure here to the downside with this development. We closed below. Okay. Now the question is this going to be an area where we maybe find some buyers? Okay. This would be a logical area to see that. Otherwise, there should be if we're going to continue to the downside, we need some additional volume, all right, coming in on the sell side. Right now, we're seeing that maybe the buyers are trying to make an attempt here to stave off, kind of the general move that's taking place here. Can't say that with this bullish candle that's developing that they're being all that successful in that endeavor, right? We have about I don't know. What was that 1,000 more buy market orders than sell market orders, but that's not really translating all that much right now in price, right? We still see a fair amount of weakness here. So whatever the buyers are throwing at sellers at the moment, it's being absorbed. All right, right now it's being absorbed, right? So that kind of is telling us that there's probably more potentially more downside opportunity here. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart again, I'm going to go ahead and remove all my drawings here. Kind of look at this kind of a fresh kind of landscape here, fresh canvas. Okay, so to speak. So here we are, right? Everything indicating that prices are looking to head lower. Prices below our VWAP, below our 9 EMA. We're developing yet another bearish candle in some sort of range here at the moment. Okay. Morning, Dave S. Okay. So now the question now becomes, well, are we going to continue that leg to the downside? Well, we've already done one little bit of Fibonacci analysis. We're going to do a second here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this swing down. All right. And then pull up to maybe this area here. And we've already reached the 61.8% extension. Well, this is telling us if we continue in this structure, that reaching the 61 level is not out of the realm of possibility in this market. Hey, Alejandro, long time no see. So in any case, 61 doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility in this market right now. Okay, 61, whole number is 61. Right, we're at 61.40 right now. Okay, All right, so let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile. Let's see. We come up with a forecast here on direction. So let's look for the start of the session, and we'll move all the way across to the close of the session. And you can see that again. You can see that folks are willing to pay a premium to be a part of this market. I wouldn't blame them. They're willing to pay a premium to be part of this downside market that we're seeing in the crude oil. Again, we're seeing evidence, the fact that prices below our VWAP, below our 9 EMA, that is telling us that there's still a fair amount of momentum here to the downside. Honestly, until we can get maybe price to close above the VWAP, really is probably an indication that there's still, the direction that we should be focused in on is bearish, not bullish. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a fan of trying to catch a falling knife here. Okay, knife is falling. Should I try to catch it with my chest? No. Okay, that's kind of my view right now in the crude oil market. All right, so let's take a look at the initial balance range here a bit and see what the initial balance range has to offer as far as insights go. And we'll take a look here and start off with the the Asia session here. And you can see that the tail end of Asia, we had a relatively wide range here. I don't know. This seems to me maybe a bit news driven, right? We started we started the session, and we created a pretty wide initial balance range. We stayed inside initial balance for pretty much in the entire session, and it wasn't basically until we got into London that we got our extension to the downside. Okay, so pretty much in range. Okay, range kind of price action, which is not the greatest. And in Asia. All right, we'll take a look here at London and see what London has to offer here. Okay, so London offered us a nice extension to the downside. You can see that price came back to the initial balance low, and what did it do? Found more sellers. Okay, so this initial balance low offered us a nice location, potentially to participate in this downside move. Notice how we did not stay there for very long. Okay, price did not good price does not wait around for you. Okay, right? So good price in a downside move would be around the 9 EMA up toward the VWAP. Now, is there always the possibility that we could come up with this price and continue? Absolutely. But as long as price remains below VWAP and below 9 EMA, well, these offer us locations where we can manage our risk and participate in a continuation trade to the downside. All right, so hey, Coast, if you don't consider the wicks when we are actually playing out the initial balance range, like for breaking channel, etc., how come they're included in the IB range? Well, again, the IB range establishes the range of that market in the first hour. What we're talking about here is executions. If I'm looking at an execution for direction, do I want to participate in an execution on the direction if they can't break and close above that range? If they can't close above or below that range, should I really look for a trade execution? Do I really have the market participants, right, necessary to continue to drive price in that same direction? Right? The initial balance range, all it's trying to do is establish, right? All the initial balance is basically establish the marketplace. Where are my buyers? Where are my sellers? Right? So including the wicks is valid, right? But using the wicks again, should I? So let me ask you this question, Simon. We wicked up. Okay, we wicked up to the upside here. Would that have been a wise move for me to take along here? And again, I'm just this is just one example of many, right? But if I saw this bullish candle here, and I managed to wick out of the initial balance range, I wicked out, right? Okay, and look what happened, right? We continued to, if anything, I should use that opportunity to sell strength and continue in that same direction. So yes, I understand that I don't use the wicks. I use the wicks to establish a range. But when it comes time to decide on whether I want to participate in that direction, I don't use the wicks. No, I don't, because the wicks are indication of rejection. And if I'm in a momentum move in one direction, I don't want rejection. I want this kind of candle, right? I want a candle that shows me that they have the participants to make things happen, right? These are the candles I want to be a part of. Okay, that's kind of why I wait for closes outside of ranges. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. All right, let's take a look here at so London was down. Okay, I think we may have already looked at the Asia session, but I'll look at it one more time. Yeah, that at least gives us an indication that there was some rejection there, right? Okay, so Asia was down. London was also down. So there's a fair amount of sellers in this market, guys. Okay, which is not as surprising given the kind of structure that we're in. Looks like we just opened the market here. Okay, at the lows. Again, there's going to come a time, right, where price is going to reverse. And again, I'm obviously a little hesitant after we made such an extension to the downside. The fact that we are so extended to the downside. Do I want to be a seller at this level? Probably not, right? But if I get some opportunity, right? Again, similar to what we got here, right? Some opportunity to pull back to initial balance low, right? That's a nice location to participate in a downside move. Selling at retail is not my cup of tea. All right, I need some sort of evidence. And honestly, guys, I do feel like that price could reach 61. But I feel like I'm taking so much risk in taking a short trade here at the moment, even though I do see that there's evidence of it right now. Okay. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to do this thing that I do always, right? And that is I'm going to sit. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be that lazy lion. Okay. And I'm going to wait for price to come to me. There's no reason for me to chase, right? If I chase, I chase at my own detriment, right? So let the initial balance establish. Let the initial balance or maybe structure give us a location to maybe participate in this market, right? So if we do manage to close below here, well, this location right here around 61.40, guess what? That is going to serve as an area for me to participate in this market to the downside, right? I'm going to, regardless of how fast this goes down, right? I'm just not interested in participating because this kind of move is going to force the participants on the other side of the market to take aggressive action, right? To take aggressive action against me, right? So let me be the guy that waits for price to come to a level where I can manage my risk, and then let that be the location where I participate. Okay. All right. So no surprise here, guys, that my view on crude oil it remains bearish. Okay. That was a long-winded answer for that. Okay. Okay. Let's see where we at. Looking at the likes, looks like we're pretty close, but I will make my plug again. If you haven't already, hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, if you haven't hit the notification bell, I would encourage you guys to do so. Okay, encourage me to continue to come and provide this kind of reviews for you on your behalf and my behalf, obviously, and encourage me to continue to do these sessions. But I can't do that without your support, right? So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you get alerted when I do provide these kinds of sessions. All right. So now that I've gotten off my marketing, let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ, which I know that everyone is interested in understanding. Well, what to say here, guys? We continue to move to the upside. How and why? We're not here to say, right? All we're here is to react to what the market is telling us. Boom. Market continues to head to the upside. Okay. It's getting to a point where it's kind of, I don't know. I'm questioning. Do we have the, how we say, the strength, the economy and otherwise to really justify this kind of move? I don't know, but we don't trade fundamentals, right? We trade what the market gives us, and right now the market is telling us you should not be looking for any sort of bearish trades in this market, not at this moment in time. Okay, now where can we go? Right? Where can we go? Well, let's take a look what Fibonacci can tell us. Right? Fibonacci says that we could easily get up to 25,600, 25,500, and maybe ultimately up to 26,250. Hard to imagine that, but that's what Fibonacci is telling us. Okay. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the 4-hour chart. See what the 4-hour chart, again, the 4-hour is just giving us more candles of the daily direction. All right, we're going to turn off our initial balance and see what the without initial balance here. Again, we're breaking some structure here to the upside. Really have a hard time chasing price here, guys. Right? We see candles kind of that continue to show that folks are willing to pay a premium. We closed above this area here to the left-hand side, right? Closed above. Just see if I can get my arrow here to behave here. We closed above this area. Right? That's 25,034, right? Closed above that area, and we accelerated, right? We found even more interest to the upside. Okay. Now, am I overly impressed with the volume of volume delta? No, but price is moving in that direction. Okay. Maybe the sellers have decided to sit on the sidelines. I'm not sure. Right? Wait for another place to take a stand. Right? But right now, it does appear that we continue to be in some sort of bullish move. Taking a look at the 30-minute chart. All right, 30-minute chart here. Again, we're above a lot of the levels that we care about. Okay, and again, I'm not one to fight this direction. Okay, as much as I'd like to sell this, because it would require me to take a little risk to make that happen. Again, I don't want to be steamrolled by a train, right? The bull train, right? Right now we're in a bull train, right? We are a bit extended here to the upside, right? We've extended above the 9 EMA. We've extended above the VWAP. Okay, we don't stay away from that level too long before we come back and revisit that area, right? So right now, right this moment in time, I'm not interested in a bullish trade. I'm just not. Okay. I am going to, again, wait, be patient, and wait for my level. Wait for price to come to a level that where I can manage my risk. All right. So let's take a look here at the fixed range volume profile. I think we know the answer to this question, guys, but I will at least help me identify a level that might be of interest to me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and drag this across here. So here's my level. One level that I'm interested is this level here, value area high. This level here around 25,040. I know that that's well below the market, but that is a level of interest for me, right? That's value area high from yesterday. Okay, so this is a level of interest for me. If it should price come back to that level, my expectation is that it will be supportive. Okay, it will be supportive. All right, so let's take a look at initial balance here. And again, if I look at this across the various markets, we'll start with the Asia market here and see what the Asia market was able to do with this market. Well, really was not able to do too much until the tail end of the market, right? It wasn't until London became a part of this that we really started to see the acceleration, okay? Asia really didn't provide us all that much. It got up to IB high and decided to range there, right? This is where combines go to die, guys, right here, this area right here. Oh, I should go up. No, we're going to stay in range. Oh, it's going to go up again. No, we stay in range, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's actually kind of marrying gold to some degree, right? So this obviously is not an area, right, that we'd like to participate. We want to be a part of these kind of moves, right? And that happened at the start of London. And London, right, we made the move. And look again, look how price came down to the 9 EMA, never closed below it, and accelerated from it. It even gave us even a bigger acceleration than we initially had, right? So again, guys, I can't emphasize this more. We need to always remain patient for these moves. let's not get enticed to enter a market at retail, right? Let's wait. Let's demand that the market give us, and if it moves without us, it moves without us. Because the thing is, our mental mindset is not going to be in a very good place, right? Knowing that we're paying a premium to be part of this market. Any sort of adverse move, any adverse move at all is not, our mindset is not going to allow us to sit in on that trade, right? And we're going to bail on the trade the moment we see anything adverse. But if we're patient and wait for price to come down to the 9 EMA, or maybe even as low as the VWAP, and look for maybe a 3-bar reversal there, that's where we find the good opportunities, right? Because our mind is already kind of, oh, okay, this is at a good level, right? This is, and I'm seeing the price pattern needed in order to continue to support a trade. Okay. So, again, heading into the session right now, obviously there's nothing to the left of me, right? We're in price discovery to the upside. You need to remain patient and see if the market is going to give us something in the way of a pullback, right, to participate in the market. Again, initial balance is going to be my guide. What kind of initial balance environment are we going to create? We have already a fair number of buyers in the market. Is New York going to retest some of the range that London has been able to establish? That's certainly possible. Okay. So again, we need to be patient, wait for our levels. All right. So yeah, again, NASDAQ looks quite bullish to me. All right. Take a look at the ES. All right. Looking at the ES, again, looking at the daily, again, we're seeing some very strong price action to the upside. Okay. That always, is a word of caution, right? Again, caution in the sense that, how do I participate in this market, right? I don't want to be enticed into entering a market that is strong. I mean, I guess I welcome the fact that it's strong, but I do realize that I can't be enticed into doing something that I might regret, right? So again, similar to what we were saying with the NASDAQ, I'm going to locate levels, right? Areas where I'd like to participate. This is one such level based on structure. 6750 seems to be a logical area on the daily for me to look to maybe to participate in this market, right? I'm always looking to participate in some sort of pullback, right? Whether it's an extension of the initial balance, whether it's a break of structure to the upside, always looking for pullback, right? Always looking for pullback. All right, let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, again, we're going to turn off initial balance here for a moment. Again, just kind of zooming in on these candles that are being developed on the 4-hour chart, right? These are just magnified, zoomed in on these daily bars. We're getting, 6 bars here that represents the day, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This in its entirety is one bullish candle. Okay. Again, volume delta also, again, participating in the move. Nice bullish candle breaking some consolidation range, supported by some volume here. We're getting 2,000, or actually 5,000 more buy orders than sell orders here at the moment. Okay. Let's go ahead and move down to the 30-minute chart. Okay. Looking at the 30-minute chart, again, we continue to grind above our 9 EMA. Are we showing maybe a little bit of signs of weakness? Yes. I'm seeing a little bit more in the way of some wicks here. Maybe this is the beginning of maybe a little bit of a pullback, right? The effort required to continue higher is weakening, right? We're seeing more balanced candles as we go. We're seeing candles that maybe we're getting some more participation coming from the sellers, which is expected, right? We want to see participation on both sides of the market, right? So, but nonetheless, we still remain in bullish structure here. Okay, so let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile here, and let's see where the start of the session is back here. Okay, right there. Drag that across to the close, right there. Okay, so here we are again, similar to, I'm going to identify yet another level here. Value area high is going to be a nice logical level for us to entertain bullish trade right around 67.70. That's the value area high from yesterday. Okay, so should price come down to that level? Now notice how the proximity of VWAP is also in the relative proximity of that level. So we have a little bit of confluence there. Excellent, Simon. You're starting to look at the markets the way I am, or maybe you already had that ability to do that. Okay, but in any case, this would be an area of interest for me, right? If price were to manage now, is there an opportunity for price to maybe head down to that level? Absolutely. But is that a little bit counter trend? Okay. Is that a little bit counter trend? Yes. In my humble opinion, it is, because any move down in this direction could be met by the same people who drove price higher. Okay. So, so we have this value area high level. Let's see what the initial balance ranges for the various markets offered here. We'll start with the Tokyo. Okay, so Tokyo again was a little bit, I guess, rangy. We had maybe a little bit bigger range in the ES than we did in the Nasdaq. And the Nasdaq just kind of hugged the high end of the range and stayed there until London. London came in here, right? London came in here, retested the initial balance high, and off we go, right? Again, a lot of buyers in London right now. Okay, so heading into the session, I understand that I am in bullish structure to the upside. I feel like I'm a bit extended up to the upside. So again, I'm going to be looking for something that would allow me to enter the market. Okay, what am I looking for? Well, again, same thing, right? I'm looking for some sort of retracement to some sort of level, whether it's a 9 EMA or VWAP, where I can logically look to execute a trade to the upside. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the Dow. Okay. Look at the Dow here. And let's take a look at the daily. All right. So daily, similar to what we're seeing, probably not as strong. Since we're not breaking above, right? We have yet to break above the area here. So 46,711 still remains an area of resistance to price. So maybe the Dow is maybe a little bit lagging to the party here. Okay, but nonetheless still remains bullish, right? Although we're seeing maybe a little bit more in the way of overlapping price here, right? A little bit more range kind of price action. Looking at the 4-hour chart, okay, 4-hour chart, again, you can see that we do appear to be in some sort of range, right? Again, if I draw my again, I'm going to draw here that there's seems to be some sort of pattern that's being established here. Okay, I think we're coming into a time where price is going to cause price to kind of move in one direction or the other here, right? So we're in some sort of consolidation pattern. This is the Dow is not as clear as to what direction they're going to take this, okay? But nonetheless, we still remain above the 9 EMA, indicating that there's still a little bit of support here that maybe is more bullish than bearish, okay? But we have to understand that we are in some sort of range. Looking at the 30-minute chart, all right? So looking at the 30-minute chart, we're going to go ahead and take a look at this, and we're not going to get any lower than that. But taking a look and see where our fixed range volume profile is in just to see where price is in relation to that. So there it is. We'll drag that across to the close. All right. So we're right smack in the middle. Okay. Right smack in the middle. So out of all the markets that we've been looking at on the equity side, we're in an area of balance. Area of balance means not really need to seek some more information from the markets in order to really participate. Right now, we are in some sort of range. If I look at this on the initial balance side, okay, it's probably going to give us the same information. We're in range in Asia, in range in London. Okay, so really no aggressive buying or selling going on at the moment in this market, right? We remain in range. So I would say the Dow headed into the session, I would say I'm looking at it to be a little bit more in the way of neutral. Okay, neutral. I'm neutral on the Dow. All right. Let's go ahead and take one final pass across all the markets here, guys. We'll take a look at the gold that doesn't seem to stop moving to the upside here. We're going to go ahead and open up our day session volume. Initial balance. So again, we continue to make highs here. We've gotten some added volume. I was starting to think, well, maybe there's some weakness here because we were seeing some wicks, but that looks like has spurred on some more interest here to the upside. Again, we have to be wary of this level here at 39.20. Has been resisted in the past, and this is an area that we are coming into quite rapidly. Okay, market continues to show signs of bullish behavior. So as long as the market shows signs of bullish behavior, for myself, are going to continue to look for opportunities to the bullish side until I'm told differently. Until price gets below my 90 MA, until price gets below my VWAP, then maybe I start to think maybe more bearish. Okay. All right. So gold is bullish. Crude oil, I think you know my answer to that is bearish. Okay. I think I'm bearish on crude oil. Okay. Overall, I don't think that should not be too much of a surprise here, guys, honestly. And NASDAQ and ES, I think are very much aligned. Tech is looking strong to the upside. S&P also looking relatively strong, but as well. Okay, so ES and NQ are in sync. But the Dow has not gotten the memo yet. All right, for me, right, still is hanging out and saying, you know what, I'm still on vacation. I really don't want to participate in this just yet. We're kind of in range, so we need some more information in order to really participate in the Dow. And that's, I think, pretty much what I have for you guys today. Okay, with about 3 minutes to spare here, or maybe a little bit. No, actually, a little bit more. We're about 9 minutes from the open. Is that right? 9 minutes from the open. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So yeah, in any case, guys, that's kind of what I have for you. Again, gold bullish, crude oil bearish, NASDAQ, ES looking quite bullish, and the Dow is neutral. Okay, that's kind of my view. Yeah, wisdom. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. I'd like to think I'm imparting some wisdom, hopefully, and get you guys out of the rut of chasing price, guys. I think that's the biggest issue that traders have, is that they chase, right? I think if we change that mindset and be a little bit more particular about the opportunities and wait for opportunities to come to us, I think that is a service for us, right? So with that, we'll go ahead and close this session. As we close most sessions, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. So don't be shy with smashing the like button, smashing the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. Give me a comment or two. Okay, give me a comment or two. Yes, touching on discipline and emotion. Yes, Aslan, a little bit of everything today. Wasn't strictly market. Was really trying to educate you guys from a mindset. That's one thing. One thing I spend most of my time on, Aslan, is continuing to work on my mindset and finding opportunities and ways to improve my mindset to allow me to execute trades. Okay, that is the biggest thing that's holding. I would think, in my humble opinion, traders back is their mindset. Their mindset is not properly wired to really execute trades well in the market, right? They have the mindset of chase, and we really should have the mindset of waiting for opportunities to come to us. Yes, Trading in the Zone is a good book. I would recommend that. I would also, especially given what I talk about with respect to initial balance and price action, Mind Over Markets is also another book I would highly recommend. And then the last one I would encourage you to read, if you haven't already, is One Good Trade by Mike Bellafor, right? I think he runs his own his firm, his own hedge fund. So that would be another book that I would highly recommend. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. Again, don't be afraid to hit the likes, the subscribes, Yes, be that lazy lion. Wait for price to come to you, and yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent day trading, guys, and we'll talk again mañana.